Bum, 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 bum. Hey, right, let's just set all of this up. Go for this, go out, do some laps. Oh, that's better. Okay. Just get accustomed to the track the first few laps. Let's build those temperatures. Oh, see if we can actually get into the track and car, get used to things a little bit this morning. Very warm here as well, so might have to take a few breaks, but should be alright. First time around here in this car, so just feeling my way in. Not worth doing any tuning at the minute, just because you're not used to the car yet, how it feels, how it acts over the bumps. Will Discord. Whoops. Chat as well if anyone wants to be in there. Sorry, completely forgot. There we go. Hey, Sim Racer. Mate, to be honest with you, I don't really think it matters what wheel you got. It's whatever your personal preference is. It's not going to make you faster. I'm just on a G920. I'd love a proper rim or a Porsche rim or whatever, but at the end of the day, it's how it feels in your hands. If you want a Porsche rim, buy a Porsche rim, mate. I never really move from this position where I'm holding it, like the two hands normally, so I'd be quite happy with one of those rims. I know quite a few people who good start, who reach for the top of the steering wheel when they're turning and that sort of thing, so it's up to you really. We know immediately this car's not going to be very good over those bumps, so it's going to be one of the first things we tackle after we get things sorted. But first few laps, let's just get used to it. we're doing this with the aim of eventually getting a track guide out. It's one of the... I didn't realise. I've done Zolder in GT4, but not in GT3, and I'm going to add a few little things to the track guide as well, like the pit in and exit, because people always say that I don't include them, which is absolutely correct, so I should do that. And anything else you'd like to see in the track guide as well, so sector times and the pit in, exit. Sector times are a difficult one for me. I'm not really bothered about how fast we go round the track on the track guides. If I'm honest, it's more about showing you how, rather than... It's going to be a nightmare through there. The car just doesn't settle down when you land from the bump. The sector times are just so influenced by temperature. It's just people get bogged down in the fact that they're a tenth slower going down the straight, but they're in hot conditions and stuff. It's just more about the process for me, right, rather than the outrun time. So we'll just do another lap and then we'll correct these tyre pressures just so we've got a good base. Hey Chris, no problem mate, thanks very much for that. Yeah, the autumn one in the Alpine, it's really fun around there, that. I really, really like driving that car around there. Someone just messaged me, I forgot to tell them when I was going live, and they were like, when you're live, Matt? When you're live? Now. So I think we need to up these pressures by quite a bit. Let's just do it now while we're teetering around. Right? So we need that 27.3 to 27.7 sweet spot. So we're going to go up by quite a bit on the front left. Only a few clicks front right. Probably need to go up masses on this rear left. Yeah, the Zermatt is super fun around there. That and the Alpine are the same sort of kind of car, right? Hey, that's awesome. 2 wins. Love that. Did you win from pole, or did you win in the other races? Good morning, Desmond.
Good morning, sir.
How art thou?
Oh, not too bad.
Good.
Are you streaming in Discord or?
I'm on the big, the old big streaming.
Oh.
Yeah, live on YouTube.
Come on, sir.
First few laps. So eventually I'll get a track guide out for Zolder in GT3. See if I don't do a backflip over the curb. Hey, hi John. How you doing? What are we doing this morning, Des?
Cook myself some breakfast. I just had a shower, and then I'm gonna go and collect my daughter now in about half an hour.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Nice, relaxed morning.
I was going to say the same, but there's nothing relaxing about driving this Porsche a lot of the time.
Oh.
Nice, Chris. Good job. Did you make up any other places in the other 2 races, or? This thing's mad round here, Des. It just rotates.
Yeah.
Even
the
more.
opposite of the BMW.
What was that? Sorry?
The complete opposite to the BMW then.
Yeah, that thing. I just, like, whenever I switch between the BMW and this, the BM just feels massive. I know it is a big car, but it just feels like driving an elephant.
Yeah.
Whereas this feels like you're driving like a cheetah or some sort of leopard.
Yeah. Because I was tuning it yesterday for Spa, and I could get like a low 18 in 30-degree heat.
Yeah.
But I think the other guys were doing like low 17s.
Yeah.
But like I was the quickest in sector 1, and then I was losing over a second in sector 2.
Were you still using that really low aero format?
No, I tried to put some rear aero on it to try and make it a bit more stable.
Make can take a look at it. Oh, is it a short formation lap, Chris, or a full formation? Yeah, well, John, not too bad, mate. A little bit tired this morning. Big old road trip yesterday. Is that 42's round Alton Park in GT4? That's not slow, I don't think, at all. I can't remember, actually. Was it 42's or... Yeah, I think it was. Oh, yeah. The short formation is difficult to get any sort of usefulness in the tyres. I'm so cautious.
You changed your camera?
I might have changed where it is, mate. I use it for work as well, so... I've switched since last time, not last week, but last time I properly streamed, I've switched my screens around. So okay. I play on the right-hand screen now rather than the left. Because I like move my table slightly, so I'm kind of tucked in the corner now. So just... Oh boy, that's wide. Where I had it like them before, it was... I was in the corner and then I was kind of like wedged in the corner by the screens as well.
Yeah.
Then now it's just like opening up a little bit, so you get to see my good side.
Yeah, and your Christmas wreath behind you.
Yeah. Never went down. Got to keep it up, haven't I?
You might as well now. It's only 2 months to Christmas, 3 months to Christmas.
Yeah, well, exactly. Yeah, I don't know if there's any differences between console and PC now. I don't know if there's the answer to that, but
I'm not too sure.
There was a time where the Aero model was completely different, but
yeah, there were a couple of updates behind us at one stage, weren't there?
Yeah, I don't know if you've caught up yet or not. Mad how they were different.
Yeah, I literally had an update yesterday for ACC.
Hey Spaulding, how you doing? Right, we'll do a couple more laps trying to learn this car around here, and then we'll start to tweak things a little bit. We've got the pressures already, so that's absolutely fine. It's a little bit blue though, so... You see how it doesn't settle through there at all? Mad. Oh, we're late here, we're late. Cars feel stiffer playing on PC. That's funny. You think? I'm sure we. Yeah, it's the same model. You're just a couple of updates behind. But I mean, I haven't tried it, so I can't say for sure, right? So, immediately when you start pushing this car, you get rewarded with lap times. It's quite different from a lot of other cars on ACC where you get rewarded with that time. The less you push with this, you really got to be quite aggressive. Yeah, the G meter is only the very latest update, I think. Really not too far behind.
Steering input?
Yeah, it's the one thing on the bottom right.
Yeah.
I'm guessing that's what you're talking about. It'd be cool to have a G meter, but it's definitely steering input, isn't it?
Yeah, it is steering input, yeah.
We're quite floaty going into those fast corners, which is interesting. Through here, though, it's just kind of luck at the minute. It just doesn't settle down, it just bounces. Wow, 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 coming down at the chicane. Massive rotation at low speed as well, so we're probably on or around the rate we need, although it's probably, knowing the aggressive preset, it's probably quite high on the front and masses on the rear. So keen to trail around there. What tracks are AOR this week? Oh, Snetterden, sorry, I didn't read. Super tough around there. Rides that curve quite nicely. Right, so we've got a rough gauge of where we're at. Let's just go back. We're not gonna go mad today. We're having a bit of coffee as well. Do you like Snetterton, Chris, or not too much? Ah, yeah, the Lexus is not bad around there, to be honest. Okay, so we are slammed on the front in the aggressive preset, and this, what I'm finding though, this number, this 3.4 in the Porsche, just doesn't cut it at all. It needs to be somewhere around 1. So, and Zolder, it's going to be a high downforce track. So a lot of these tracks are super high downforce. Let's start with 4 on the front splitter, and we're going to need a lot of downforce around here. Those tyre temps are a bit low all round, so let's just close up these a bit and then compensate a couple of clicks. Actually, we could probably do with a couple more off there. And I always like to start with a bit more caster on this car. Just makes it weight up a little bit more and make it a little bit safer with this camber as well. When did the GT Omegas? Oh, the chair. I've had that for ages, Hydra. It's not a rig. It's just a swivel chair, right? Thanks, Benji. This brake march is still pretty high as well.
Mr. Hydra, I was watching you race Chasmo yesterday. You nearly took him out at Nürburgring.
Me?
No. Hydra and Chasmo were racing in the SRO.
Oh, right.
And Hydra nearly ran into the back of Chasmo.
Oh boy, how did you get on in that race, Chasmo? Overall? Hydra even? Oh. Fair. Yeah, Snetterton's tough in... To be honest, I don't mind Snetterton in GT3. It's better than Alton Park in GT3, but it's not ideal. It's definitely GT4 track, really, isn't it?
What? So bad on the brakes.
Yeah. What car was Chasmo in?
He was in the Lexus and Hydra was in the Aston, so it's pretty understandable.
Well, there you go. Yeah. Why did you drop to P6, Hydra? This brake bias is still really full. It's not that bad. I don't really know what time I'm aiming for around here with this sort of middle fuel. Just see where we get to. You don't know. Who are you racing with? Enough for these tyres to get out of pressure. I've no idea how those two people are, but they sounds like you're blaming them, Hydra.
Is it Jack Wheatley? Yeah, I guess it's the same.
Yeah, it does the deliveries. Ooh, we've got a little bit of frame rate just drop there. It does have the same thing with deliveries. I think you can create some on the PC, but on Photoshop or whatever.
It has to be a custom
yeah.
delivery, doesn't it?
Oh, Gamil, I've raced him quite a bit, yeah. Oh, this is way too late. Oh. Okay. one rule around this track: just don't clip that grass.
Way outside.
Yeah. It's just so tough through here in this car as well. It just ramps over there. Yeah, I think whoa. I think the only thing you can change is the wheels.
Yeah, you can make the custom liveries if you get someone to make one for you on PC.
I feel like that's not the reason that people don't use the Lexus that much, Chris. It's about a year ago, it was super good in the rain, and that was kind of the reason that people used it, because they could get away with it in the dry, and then as soon as the rain came, they were just flying. And then basically they nerfed it in the wet, and then it just completely ruined it, and then they kind of brought it back to life, but it's still not up there. A lot of people like it though. It's just a nice, it's a good starter car. It's the car I started in. It's just a comfortable car, really. Des, when was the last time you did a race around Zolder?
Was it the ACR fun event?
Well, that multi-class one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the last time I went around there as well.
That's about what? A year ago?
It's quite a long time ago, wasn't it? Whoa! Somehow still in straight line. Yeah, the Lexus does sound good. I don't think it sounds as good as this Porsche, but it does sound good. What have I lifted off? Absolute fool. Oh dear. Extremely warm in this room today. It's quite sunny outside. I've got my hockey today as well. It's
I'm playing hockey, yeah.
just the local pitch. The triangle. Bit of a funny pitch playing on the triangle.
I was just going to say.
Really changes the game.
Yeah, get stuck in the corners.
Yeah. Right, one more lap and then we'll make a few adjustments. It's definitely, it's not terrible because we've got roughly the right brake already. Don't hit that grass. It's definitely not turning, coming out and getting a little bit of understeer through some of the faster corners and oversteer through the there we go, the slower ones. We can definitely get sort of, I'm just going to look up what sort of times I was doing in the McLaren. Okay, so if we need sort of early 28s, I think. Okay, that's fine. So, what do we need to do? We're getting that understeer through the fast corners, so let's get a little bit more of this splitter on. We could actually take some air off, but I don't think it's worth it around here. The straights are so short. And we've got basically no diff. Okay, this is why we're getting this serious rotation at low speeds. We're not going to touch the springs yet or anything. Just going to sort out the diff. This needs to come down as well. What we're on, 54, I think we were. Let's bump this up and let's put these at 3 and 3, just so we've got a bit of a sort of baseline. We were fine on TC2, so let's just knock it. I like 2 and 2 on this car. I need to just put this up a little bit as well. Cool. Yeah, Ross, the Porsche is exciting. Let's put it that way. It's just a, oh boy, okay. It's just a different kettle of fish from most other cars, even the other mid-engine cars. This is just a beast. It's just, you have to drive it to get anywhere in this car. You really have to drive it on a knife edge. could just turn it in and it just rotates. Just forgot the coffee. It's not very good over bumps though, so a track like Zolder, you need to make a choice whether you tune it for the rest of the track or tune it for the chicane. It's kind of similar to Imola in that way. Most of the time I end up tuning it for the rest of the track and then make it sort of cope over the chicane. Yeah, that's it, Chris. That's it. I was kind of not bored, but I wanted a bit of a challenge on ACC because I feel like I can get in most of the conventional cars. Just get in and tune them would be quick in them. Whereas this was kind of, it felt like the time for me to get into the Porsche. Need to get Des in it though.
I'm happy enough trying to drive the BMW for now.
I think you should do 2 cars, Des, not just pick one for the next year.
Well, I'm going to be moving for 3 months. I'm not going to have time to drive any car.
Fair enough. You're going to be able to do any racing at all? Not really.
Well, see, I'll be gone for maybe like 2 weeks at a time, and then home for a week. So I might be able to do a bit when I'm home.
Yeah, fair enough.
It'll just be picking and choosing, you know.
Yeah, a bit of fun.
Yeah. I probably won't be able to do PPR this year or this season.
I'm not going to do PPR this season. Just because I've got like a whole bunch of endurance events coming up, so I want to do more streams. I want to do more videos. So the racing is kind of, I don't know. Sunday night it just seems like a good idea every time, and then when you actually get there, it's like, oh, Sunday night.
BMW is good. It's just you have to tune it a lot, and it is a tank.
Yeah, it is. It's just so fast in a straight line. It's a really good race car because you can defend really well in it because it's so fast. It's starting to feel like a bit more of a normal car. Let's put this brake bias further back as well. Yeah, the Beamer is just, I don't know if it has the, oh, it's so sketchy through there. The ultimate pace of something like the McLaren, but
I don't think it does. I don't think it's like one of those top tier cars.
Woohoo! Uh-oh, that was close. Kept a foot in it.
Yeah, definitely fill the track, alright.
You just, like, it's all about just getting clean exits in that beam. It really is. Like, if you can tune it so it's got good traction, but also you're running like relatively less, like low wing, it's just unstoppable down the straights. Yeah, everyone's going to jump on that M4, aren't they? It's going to be wicked. Oh, there's that rotation we've been looking for. Oh, just not enough. You see how much time we gained there from that early rotation in the corner, though. Even though we're on the grass coming out, it's well worth it. Still, remember, we still haven't tackled the dampers for this chicane either. Yeah, the M4 is going to be sick. Is it actually any good in real life? Has it done much racing yet, or not? Whoa, there's that rotation. Oh, that's nice of you going in the Bentley. They're slightly different. Hydra's your man for Dare, and the chat is your man for Bentley setups as well. If you're struggling for pace in that car, I'll sort you out.
Hydra getting a little shout out there.
Because I can't stay on the track, so
don't buy Zermatt's Porsche.
yeah. Not yet, anyway. We get that little bit of rotation, and we can just get on the throttle super early. Rear pressure's a bit high, front's a little bit low. This is just a nightmare through here. We'll do one more lap after this and we'll tweak again, because just still in that learning phase, right? There's just no point making loads of changes when you're just still getting used to it and still making silly mistakes. You've got to be in a state where you're sort of constant in the car before you really start making some proper changes. It feels roughly right with the rake. I know we've got full air at the minute, but to be honest, it's probably going to be full air around here. So I'm happy about that. We've got a sort of neutral outset on the anti-roll bars as well, so we've got a lot of play to do, a lot of work to get through. Just getting that little drift coming out some of the corners, so my initial thought is that rear suspension needs to be a bit softer as well. Half the road, get in, and now I've driven off. Yeah, we could still do with more diff as well. It doesn't quite. We can get that rotation on entry even with this high-ish diff, and then it just struggles to get that final phase of the corner exit, so either we can do that with the rear anti-roll bar or we can do it with the diff. And because we can get that rotation under brakes still, probably do it with the diff at this point. Especially if we're going to lower that rear spring as well. Starting to feel a bit more comfortable though, that's for sure. Hey, how you doing? That little cut on the apex there. Okay, so it's pretty comfortable. It would have been a 0.4 really if I hadn't screwed up. So let's go back. Let's do that spring. Yeah, it's funny how the two are quite different, but yeah, I'm not sure what to say other than get yourself a PC basically. It's just set up better for PC really, this game. Maybe the next one will be optimized a little bit better. Okay, so let's go a little bit softer overall. In fact, let's not go too soft on that front. So we've taken it's pretty soft already because we've got a lot of play in this Porsche, up to 23, but it's just not worth it. Around here you need that traction, and are we getting enough? We're getting quite a lot of rotation at low speed, so I don't know if we need this rake. We can actually bring that back in here. That rear bump stop range, the lower you have it, kind of makes the car pivot a little bit more. Peace is my plan. Yeah, man, get saving. It's worth it though. It's just a lot cleaner on the PC. Whoa. I'm really enjoying my sort of discovery with this car. feel that rotation on entry already. Yeah, it's a lot better through there. I know we're on cold tyres at the minute, but you can still get that rotation. I clicked it down actually to 53 odd, so it tends to be about the brake bars I end up in this car. I know some people run like 49, 48. Around Donington in quali we were down at 46, which is mad, but just to get that rotation, just gain time in this thing by doing it. So that softer rear spring isn't really hurting us. We've done both the front and the rear, just to give us a little bit more leeway. It's just feeling a bit stiff around here at the minute. Don't need to be. You need a stiff car at places like Silverstone, where you've got a lot of fast flowing corners to keep that aero stable. Here it's much more of a sort of slower stop-start bumpy track, so you don't need those stiffer springs. Yeah, that's fair enough, Chris. The advantage you've got now is that there's a bunch of new stuff that's come out since then, and it's almost at the point where you can get your hands on it, really. I'm glad I didn't wait till the sort of 30 series stuff came out.
Yeah, same.
Oh, we didn't do the front right tyre pressure. Already a little bit more compliant through there as well, even just with the springs. Haven't touched the damping yet at all. Oh, just didn't pay attention. I feel like as soon as we start tackling the damping through that chicane, we're going to gain a bunch of time as well. And if we can already get like a 28, 3 or 4, then we're well on our way to getting a good time around here. So. If I can actually do it. I'm just going to start pushing again. See how you just gain so much time on that if you get that rotation coming into the corner. Feeling good through there. It was nowhere near on the limit. See if we can whiz through here. A bit early. Works alright though. Too much. You can see now we're starting to get that little bit of play, that little bit of slide, that rear pressure's coming up as well on the rear left. Just where that outside tyre's pushing us around a little bit. The lamppost on the braking zone. Still just lacking a little bit of traction out there. That's a point. It's an easy 0.3 really, that. Oh, we've not got it. It's a slide rather than a nice rotation. Woohoo!
Definitely a slide.
That's definitely a slide, yeah. Woohoo! I like jumping. Okay, so we know what the car's doing, we know what time we can get, so let's go back. 53.4, that brake bias felt pretty much on, and I always forget to do it, so let's just do it now. So, and we need to do that this one down, this one up a few clicks, this one down a few clicks. So the car is starting to rotate really nicely through the fast corners. It's probably still got a little bit too much on the slow ones, so we could probably knock this rear spring down even more. Yeah, Boxer. Yeah, got a little bit of time this morning to do some tuning, just crack through some setup work. Hey Stein, so what I mean by letting the car steer with the diff, so if you've got this, so this preload differential down here, if you can see my mouse actually, but this number, if you have it lower, so if you have it on say 20, what's going to happen is you're going to get loads of rotation coming into a corner, but not much rotation coming out of the corner, because it's not going to allow the outside tyre to spin or to rotate faster than the inside tyre. Whereas if you have it at the maximum amount, it's going to do the opposite, right? So it's going to allow the outside tyre to essentially like push the car round from that outside rear quarter. So when I say let the diff do the work, is whatever setting you've got on the diff, make sure you drive accordingly, yeah? So if you've got it sort of quite neutral like we have now, then you can be neutral in your steering input. If you've got it quite high, then you can basically have your steering very neutral, very nothing, you know, no input on the steering, on the power. And if you've steered correctly into the corner, then the back end of the car will push itself round, so you won't have to do much on the steering. So it's just a slightly different driving style. Oh, nice! You got one of the Fanatec. Yeah, I'm jealous. I just don't have that to spend at the minute on that sort of thing, unfortunately. Okay, so what do we need to do? Let's go into this. Let's bring this up. I know everyone loves a bit of this. We can look at these damping histograms, and they don't look particularly terrible. So we need a bit more rebound on the front, a bit less on the rear.
How do you zoom in and out on that? Because I couldn't get mine to do that.
Oh, well, I've just clicked on the right thing. Sorry. So you start like this and shit, don't you? Like all zoomed in, sort of thing. So up here on the top right, you can either click this far one, and it goes to like roughly right, and then if you hold control,
I can't see because your camera's in the way.
Oh shit, sorry. Let me make it smaller. So at the start it's like this, right? All over the place, and then you've got these three buttons up here. So width, height, and then if you click the far one, it all goes up. And then if you want to zoom in more, you can hit control and scroll down on your like mouse wheel, or just scroll. If you want to go across, it's just scroll.
I get you.
Okay. Down. So I just click that straight away. So and then zoom out a little bit, because it always just cuts off the top just a little bit.
Yeah. I couldn't figure it out for ages, man.
Yeah, Cody. That's what I'm finding. I don't know what sort of times I'm aiming for, but we're on sort of 28.3 at the minute, and it's with a bit of fuel in. So. So I'm having fun. That's what it's about, really. So we need a bit more damping. So let's do this. And what we're going to do as well, a bit more about on here. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a little trick on here. We're going to start with these relatively far apart on both the front and the rear. The rebound, the fast rebound this is. So this is really how the car's going to react when we're going over bumps and curbs. Yeah, well, what you did and what Tortellini did a few months ago is just going to be way faster than me. So I'm not sure I even
you don't really want to know.
Yeah, I don't really want to know, to be honest. Yeah, Boxer, I'm pretty jealous you've got that wheel, and you, Chris, if you've got it too. I don't know if either of you play on a desk, but I just can't see it being that. It's just going to make my whole desk shake and stuff. Like even this wheel makes my screen go like up and down when it. So I can't, especially not the 8 Newton meter one. I'd have to get the 5 one. Yeah, I'd love to have a rig. I do get jealous seeing everyone's rigs and stuff, and I was going to destroy the desk. Oh, okay, well, I'm glad I didn't get it then. This desk's pretty sturdy. It's got like metal frame and then like an X bit on the back to stabilise it as well. It's not like a shitty cheap one from the IKEA cheap thing, which is just going to bend and bow and that sort of thing. It's a decent desk, but at the same time, it's still only a desk and not a purpose-built rig, right? It doesn't work on PS4. You just need to get a PC, mate. Everything you're telling me sounds to me like you're ready for a PC. Depth boxer, honestly, I would get a GT Omega. This thing's pretty naff. I'd definitely look at something else. I wouldn't recommend this chair to anyone. It's alright, but having sat in a couple of different ones recently, I'm pretty disappointed with it. It just seems like unnecessary money to change it though. That rotation through there's really getting quite nice. What sort of fuel was that in, Cody? So we're not too far off if that's got some sort of fuel in. 28.3 at the minute, and we haven't even really done much, so. And you're quicker than me anyway, so. Oh, quali? Oh, okay, well that makes me feel a lot better. We've 28.3 with 60 litres on. You never want to drive the car. Oh. Are you not loving the Porsche still, Cody? Oh, your Noble chair wasn't that nice. I haven't sat on one of those. I've heard alright things, but it's just not very comfortable. Then. Yeah, it's difficult here. That's not ideal, especially if they're charging like 300 or 400. I need to start concentrating around here again soon. Especially if they're charging sort of 300 or 400 quid for one of them chairs. You expect it to be just ready to go, right? So you see where we've changed those damping, that fast damping. Oh, Cody, I reckon you're not too bad in the Porsche. It is manic difficult to drive. Like, I don't know about you, but whenever I go, like, try and do some sort of quali run or quali setup, there's some corners which I just gain tense out of nowhere, and then I just can't do it again. And I just can't help think like, well, if I could do that every corner, I'd be absolutely rapid, and that's the difficulty, right? Going back to the chair thing, you'd think you'd just be ready to go and absolutely perfect, but obviously not. That's not how you go around that corner. Like I'm sure there's another way, Cody. Basically, I'm trying to find a way to tune this thing without like running some like crazy low like brake bias or something like that to get that like early. Here, that early like rotation where you just gain time. It's almost like when you just slide into corners, it's quicker. But then like 99 times out of 100, you can't do it properly. Like it's super infuriating. But at the same time, it's rewarding because when you do get it, you're like, oh shit, yeah, I really like that. That's too late. Yeah, Chris, definitely do it if you can do it. I'd just like a carriage. Oh, okay, this lap's a bit of a write-off. Let's concentrate in a second and go for it. Weird setups always seem to work on Porsche. Weird bumps. What sort of bump stops have you been?
Right, I'm out, Zimdog.
All right, mate. See you soon.
Yeah, I'll see you later. Enjoy.
Yeah. Yeah, I always find that soft springs are working for me, Cody, at the minute. Whoa, there's that slide. So let's have a look at this setup then.
He's trying to stay on the track.
I wasn't in the endurance one, but Cody might have been. High bump stop as in rate or range? Because I always feel like, oh, having this up at like 800-900 works on this car quite well. In fact, let's try this the opposite way around. Range quite high. Oh no, Cody. Oh dear. Chris, I honestly don't know what other people think, but I probably wouldn't bother waiting for what Thrustmaster do. How can we get this rotation a little bit earlier without this brake bias then? And we can bring up our old RST, but we haven't. To be honest, I didn't really concentrate too much on that run, so let's just give it a rough look. We're not too bad, so I'm not going to dwell on it too much at the minute. Jardier just hit, you know, him and Dawkins just send it on everyone and expect people not to do it back to them. They've got a serious reputation for that. And, you know, if you've got that, then you've got to expect it back. I don't know about you, Cody, as well, but I really struggle to extract the time in this car in quali trim. Like when it's on pad, I swear pads 1 aren't even quicker. I'll try that high range at some point, but it doesn't make sense in my brain at the minute. I'm gonna try and understand that maybe. I'm not streaming. Use pad 4. What for quali? I just don't even think it makes a lot of difference in this car. I don't know why. It just doesn't stop any quicker. Lower the rake on quality trim. Yeah, that's what I've been finding as well. It just gets so like unmanageable. You just car just spins on a sixpence round. Like I was tuning for Kyle Army yesterday or the day before, I can't remember what it was, and going around the fast right-hander, it would just flip it round, like the front would just dig in. So I'm glad I'm not the only one who's had that. That sort of rotation there, that feels good. I'll get behind that rotation. Yeah, I just can't deal with how low they run their brake bias. Like Tortellini just runs it like 50% or less, basically, doesn't it? It's mad. Yeah, that's better through there. The car settles down. See you later, Harder. Thanks for joining me. Yeah, I mean, I guess if you're spending 400 quid on a wheel, the 10 or 20% import tax is not going to, you know, if you either make the call to buy it or you don't, like, just pay for it. You don't, yeah, it's just, ooh. I think if you're in and it's really a hobby, like you just gotta go with it. Like, got other shit to spend money on at the minute, so I really need to concentrate and get back into those low 28s. You getting VR, are you, Cody, or? Alright, see you, Cody. Whoa, okay. Oh, it's going to be damaged. Right, let's actually... We've done the damping. It does feel alright through there. I think we still need a little bit of work. And it definitely seems like we've lost a bit of sort of impetus around the rest of the track because we've changed that damping so much. It's still a little bit slidey coming out those slow corners. So I reckon we don't need as much rotation out the slow ones. So maybe we even take the rake off a little bit more. So it doesn't have that natural pivot quite as much. Right, let's try and get back. So at least we've got a decent split. Yeah, yeah, I mean, that's exactly what I'm battling with as well, Chris, so... Gotta, like, give up booze or something for, like, 3 months and justify it that way or something like that, I don't know. Figure out how much money you spend on, like, wine or beer and then don't do it. Still not that compliant over those little bumps, so maybe we need to really like stiffen that fast rebound up. It's an easy 0.4 if we can just get it clean. We're not really even pushing it through that though. Well, if you add a sim rig in, yeah, probably 1,500 quid. There it is. Okay. Slightly different line worked well through there. Better. Pretty conservative on the brakes through there. Okay, so that's the sort of time we can get at a minute, 50 odd litres. That did not feel too bad. That slightly different line through the chicane. I just want to watch it back as well. Let's go on board. So braking slightly later and then coming in, so we're just at this angle, so our right tyre is going to be aiming for like where this little curve for the curb sort of ends, and we can see we're still absolutely up on two wheels here, which is mad, but look at that shit. In fact, we're not even touching the road. But if that's the way you've got to take it, that's the way you've got to take it. So let's just save that as sort of a V. V1. Let's bring in this. Oh, you sold your Career RS last year. Oh no. I reckon you, Boxer, you should be able to justify getting the DD by not having the running costs of the real Porsche. But you know, that's just my view. Let's go look at this, and that's definitely the best lap we've put together in ourselves. So it's still a bit high on this side, on both of them. So, and actually, interestingly, and I just want to show you this. Let's just let me just load it on this other screen. And there is not really a proper reason, but RST is much. Or do we? Oh, we don't have it. Oh, balls! I didn't set the telemetry laps. I was going to show you the difference between RST and Motec when the graph is the same, but on RST you can make it a lot more accurate because you input all the telemetry, the car parameters. So I think on here we just need a little bit more bump on front and rear. Just try it. I think maybe we need a bit more fast rebound as well, fast pop as well. Let's put this up. Got a good split now though, which is nice to have. The Vive. I think if you get in and you really try and learn like how to tune and all of that sort of thing, I think you can really get into this game. I like it when people say there's not loads of stuff to do, but there's absolutely tons to do. You can spend, like, I could spend hours tuning. I think if you really get into tuning, then just reply to something. Hang on. Oh, that's cool. I've never played a VR. It makes me hot tire super cold. I don't know. I think I'd make my brain fry. So we've gone through the aero. We're just about all right, I think, on the balance of the car aero-wise. Around some of these fast corners, it feels flat enough and stable enough that you can start to push it around. But on the slower corners, you're still getting that natural rotation, but not too much. We sort of iron some of that out with both the diff on corner entry, so we've got quite a high diff, but also on how we've got our spring set up, so we get that traction coming out of the corners as well. I do want to try this. Slightly lower spring still. The dampers look good. We've tuned it for that chicane, but not compromised it round some of the other flatter corners, which is a really good thing to do. So a lot of the time you have to make a call. Not so much around here because you've got two chicanes, or three chicanes really, so you can get away with sort of tuning them for there. But around Imola, a lot of the time, you have to make a call whether you tune it for that final chicane in the final section or for the rest of the track. And more often than not, around there, you tune it for the rest of the track because there's a lot more fast corners. Whereas here, it's sort of three chicanes and what I call the Zolder Lesmos. If you're watching this happening GP, you know what I mean. Yeah, that's definitely right, Chris. Like it's something clicks and you just get on with it, and then you find that motivation to keep ploughing on as well. And it's a driving style thing. It's something in setups. Like you might find something that really tweaks for you. It's finding the right car. I urge you to, if you've been in one car for a little while, there's that really nice rotation. It's just so smooth through there, even without the pressures up yet. I urge you, if you've been driving one car for a little bit, then go and go and try some other cars, because I hated this Porsche when I first drove it. But now I'm absolutely loving it, because you evolve and your style adapts and you change, you become more adaptable as you spend more time in the game and stuff. So it's taken me a while to get to this point, but I'm glad I've gone through it. And so this has sort of started my learning journey all over again, really. A bit late on there. Really key to trail off into that corner, because if you just slam the brakes and come off, you're going to understeer. Next time we go around there, look at the braking trace. In fact, we can do it in the telemetry in a sec. I'll just do more laps. Yeah, I'm in a G920 as well. It's definitely more difficult to feel what the cars are doing sort of in the wet and that sort of thing, but it's good enough to still be fast. Like, don't let your equipment hold you back. Like, you can still be fast on a G920. So it's just that immersion a little bit. There's that line. Not the fastest, but it's quite consistent through there like that. Oh, your 4.3 is broken. Alright. Fair enough. Let's go back and analyse that lap. That setup feels good, the changes that we've made, so let's just save over that. And let's bring in RST. And let's have a look at that. So if we take that 0.0 lap, if we have a look at, say, one of the 0.4s we were at before, so we can do a little bit of comparison. You can see we actually had a better first sector on that 0.4 we had, so there's still time. So what are we, 130 behind, and then we just, you know, crucify the rest of it. But where's the hairpin coming up here? So if we zoom in on here, we can see, if we go to braking, we can see how key it is to come off the brakes slightly differently. So the red lap is the one that we done well in, and we gained a bit of time through here. Hang on, can I do it on overview? Is that going to work? Oh yeah, cool. So you can see we gained a bit of time under braking here, and then in fact on the power. So if you look at let's just look at that fast lap. So the red is the acceleration. So we have this like little bit where we go up to 60 odd. Or 40% throttle, and then just as we're nervous, so just as the back end of the car is coming around slightly, and then we go straight up to 100% really. But the braking, you see how early, if you look down the track map, how early we're starting to trail off here. So really we're on the brakes right until we're turning in here. You can see our steering input here, and it's almost a direct comparison. So look where I start to come off the brakes. So here in this blue line. And then look where I start to turn. So our steering angle starts to increase as we're coming off the brakes. You can see it sort of levels off here a little bit. We have a little jab of brake, and then our steering, the amount that we're increasing our steering actually sort of levels out a little bit here as well, just here. And then as soon as we're starting to come off that brake properly, that's where we start to increase our steering angle. And it's almost, and this is something that you can practice, but it's also a sort of a skill, right, that you develop, but you have naturally, and everyone has it to a certain degree. As soon as, it's a timing thing, as soon as you're off the brake there, look where our max steering percent is. So in fact, if we can probably do it exactly, right? So when we come off the brakes, our steering angle is 17.82, and the maximum we get to is 18.8. So we're basically there, right? If I had a better left foot, I'd probably trail. So we're on what, 11% here. Trail a little bit longer, but it's not worth it too much on this. And you can see as well, as soon as we get on that power, we have that initial bite where we're still steering. But then when we move from this phase to 100% power, look how much our steering angle has changed. So we're straightening. So we're like this, and we're straightening our steering up when we get to that full power. If we compare that to the other lap, you can see how well, the brake was completely different, and we probably would have understeered into here because we're still carrying 100% braking, even though we're trying to turn. And then we have this relatively nice sort of trail off. And then our power, we get nervous. We try and straighten our steering out a little bit too early, put the power down a little bit too early, too quickly. And then that means we have to sort of adjust our steering coming out of the corner. You can see how it's not anywhere near as smooth. The green line isn't as smooth as the red line. It's sort of, we have our steering and then we come off and it's relatively straight and you're just gliding out the corner. So hopefully that gives you a bit of an insight on what to sort of look for when you're comparing your laps here. So like we can go through this as well if you want. So let's just go into T1 between the two of them. It's pretty even, braking a little bit early on the lap. We lost a little bit of time. So it's a couple of miles an hour down, but that's fine. Earlier on the power though, you see the steering input's pretty similar. Turn 2, again similar on the green light. We actually get on the power earlier, but you can see this braking input. Sorry, I'm zooming the wrong way. Hang on. This braking input's a little bit. It's so. In fact, we don't even get to full braking. So this is turn 2. So the maximum braking we get to really is, where is it, 90% there, and actually on the lap we go around here faster. It's 84 there, 85, something like that. So, and you can see as we turn in more, the brake trails off, and as soon as we get to the full steering percent here, we've trailed off that brake completely. So that's the sort of timing you want to apply to that. I don't know if you guys like this sort of thing, but sorry, I neglected the chat for a little bit. Calibrate your pedals. So no, I don't have a load cell boxer. Until very recently, I was on just the stock G920 pedals, and I was using the clutch pedal on there because the brake just doesn't feel good for me. But recently, I got a set of Fanatec CSLs, just the base ones, not the proper load cell ones, and actually the brake feels, it's not heavy, but it feels quite progressive, so it allows you to do this sort of trailing off nicely. Yeah, Boxer, when you start comparing things, it gets, it starts becoming clear. I think people are scared of this data a little bit. Yeah, if you've got a rig or you're going to build a rig, get the load cells, 100%. They're just better, but I play on my rolly seat, so there's just no point me doing it. Let's do T3. So this is an interesting one because this is the fast corner, and you can see how those braking traces are completely different. What I want to try and do here is if we've got is it under this one? Which there's one which has got like an oversteery. It might be under crossover actually, and there's one which has got like a. That's quite a good one to see how much you're coasting actually, like a like an oversteer angle almost. Steer speed. I can't remember which one it's in. Don't think it is in that one. So okay, we'll leave that one. But yeah, I think so too, Pope. I mean, I've definitely got more. I don't know if I've got more consistent yet because I use the other pedals for a long time. But I could definitely feel myself in some instances being able to hold onto this brake light coming into the, into this corner here where you can adjust yourself on the brake a little bit more. Whereas before I would have, that was just the braking trace that I had, and that was, it just better. Yeah, Chris, but it just, I don't know. I just can't be arsed with it. Get like fanning around with getting a brake on my seat and stuff, and like I don't know. I need this room to be about 6 different things a lot of the time, and I work here, and I just need to be able to take my wheel off and plonk it over. So I'm pretty happy with how little I've spent for how well I can do on the game, if that makes sense. For me, it's about right. So I'm going to do a video on that, Boxer. Outright speed, maybe a touch. I need to go back to the McLaren. The difficulty I got in comparing is that I flicked from the McLaren to the Porsche. I basically had 2 weeks of driving the Porsche on the old G920 pedals, and I can see if I can I don't know if you guys saw the video I did comparing me and Leo's lap times around Donington, but the brake pedal was screwed, so it really wasn't a very good comparison. So I need to go back to the McLaren and see if I gain more time. But round those short corners, like the ones where you really need to trail brake, where you're decreasing your speed a lot, and also ones like this in the second corner here, where you're not fully braking and you need that sort of feel. They're the corners that I definitely feel more comfortable in. I don't know if I'm quicker, but definitely more comfortable, that's for sure. Yeah, Chris, I probably won't change things that much really. Oh, while we're here, we might as well have a look at this. So these are looking almost ideal. Still need a little bit more bump. So this is rebound on the left hand side, bump on the right hand side of each of the graphs. So you've got front left, right, rear right. So maybe we could try a little bit more bump, but you can see how the graph, this right hand side actually is a nice shape. It's quite you're looking for a nice bell curve here, whereas the left hand side, sorry, is a little bit of a sort of jagged line up, and these two here are quite high, so maybe we need slightly less fast rebound, which is this one here. I think that's probably, so this is going to be the thing that settles the car down after you're going through the chicane, basically. So the bump is when you have the impact, and the rebound is how the damper comes back down, how quickly it does. So the higher number, the higher it comes back down. So it's interesting to see the balance. If we just bring that back up again, because I forgot to look at the rear. So it's the same for the rear, but not quite as pronounced. So I'll probably knock that down by a couple of clicks, and give it a go in a little bit. I don't know if you guys had any more questions. I've probably got about 5 or 10 minutes before I need to go. I would say that I don't think that's a controversial statement at all. I know a lot of quick people who don't use direct drive or a load cell. I think it definitely makes you more consistent, like you say. But at the same time, I think in difficult situations, like going over the curbs here in Zolder and driving in the wet and all those, driving side by side, I think it gives you that edge where you can just feel what's going on a little bit more. I've driven a direct drive wheel, and it is, you do get a lot of feedback. I think because of that, you get the chance to push the car more as well, because you're more confident in the way that you're going to be able to react to different situations. So like on my wheel, where I can't really feel what's going on, sometimes I get that really nice drift into corners in this Porsche, and then I get a little bit nervous because I can't feel exactly what's going on. Whereas if I had one of those wheels, I'd be more confident in myself, and then in turn I could push more, and then you get a little bit faster. So that's how my brain works with that. Booting at the moment. Yeah, man, that's pretty cool, Box. I'm pretty jealous you've got that. Might be wrong. I think there's someone on PC and Tier 1 available that uses. Yeah, his name's Black Gold Saw, so I race with him quite a lot. I think he is on the controller. Yeah, he's unbelievably quick. Like I race with him at PPR as well, and we go toe to toe quite a lot of the time. He's definitely quicker than me, but sometimes he makes some crazy strategy calls. But so does everyone. Each to their own. If you want to play on a controller and that's what you want to do, then enjoy it. I want to play on the wheel. That's why I went to PC, because I wanted to use the wheel, really. I've played years on Forza using a controller, and it just doesn't have the same enjoyment factor at all, really. So yeah, Dave's got that wheel. Davey Skill's got that wheel, Denise. Yeah, well, that's it, Boxer, isn't it? You got to do what you enjoy doing at the end of the day. Before you ordered a direct DD as well. Yeah, it probably will let you catch slides a little bit earlier. I would argue that if you already can't catch the slides, it might help you, but you should be looking at your style and why you're getting into those slides in the first place. So are you doing something on entry? Is it something to do with your brakes? Something to do with your setup? The way you know what we were talking about earlier, where you're coming off the brakes as you're starting to turn, and you're doing something different there. So I'd double whammy that, and this is. We've talked about this a little bit, Denise, as well, haven't we? But it's, you know, go into these sessions with an aim and make sure you get that aim out by the end. So my aim for this session was just to get a base setup that then I can, so we're on 60 litres on today, middle temperatures. I can then adapt this for qualifying. I can adapt it for full fuel stints. I can use some of this footage for a track guide for you guys that's gonna come up. In fact, let's save the replay before we forget about that. Which, you know, I can talk through a little bit more, and we also do pit in, pit entry. I'll do that another time though. So evaluate, you know, go into these sessions not just with a mindless, oh, I'm going to run laps and by the end of it I'll get quicker. Be like, right, I want to conquer the trail break into turn 1, or like the first sector, I want a 29 in the first sector, because, you know, at the minute I've got 30.0. And did we get into the 29s at all? 30, 30.1. Did we get a dirty one? Probably not if it's not here. So, you know, maybe next time I go into this in similar conditions, I'll be like, right, I want a 29 in that first sector, and we're going to figure out why. So have a proper aim. Before we go, any quick tip for the left-hander before the back straight at Snetterton? The left-hander before the back straight? Which one exactly are we talking about? It's 2 right-handers before the back straight, isn't it? Correct me if I'm way too much understeer on one corner. Which, Chris, can you just let me know which one? If I'm talking about, in fact, we can go to the track if you want quickly. Yeah, no, I agree, Chris. Need a lot of work with setup too. Love doing this sort of fine tuning of the point to improve on, something to focus on. Yeah, 100% the way forward. Let's just go to Snetterton. And you can tell me which corner I'm the second right-hander. Okay, so yeah, so there's a really interesting bit of road, this right-hander, if we just go to it quickly, because there's a, I've never driven the Porsche around here, so I'm almost guaranteed to crash. It's a really interesting line you can take. There's 2 different lines, and one's definitely quicker than the other, but it's more difficult. So if we just go out of here quick. The first line that you can take around the right-hander is quite a tight one, because and I think you're probably going to find this as well. It feels like the tarmac just slips away from you, like 2/3 of the way round that corner. So you can take quite a lot of angle. You can get the slip angle quite high on the way into the corner. Left-hander is on my right, and my right. Okay. So I think there's 2 lines. The first one is you can get into the corner early, and you can really get that slip angle of the car quite high, and then you can sort of drift out wide. Or you can take a slightly more conservative line. So we just, oh boy, okay, good one, Zimdog. Let's just show everyone how to drive and then spin. Cool. Let's just go back here and come into it full speed. It's not embarrassing at all, is it? I'm gonna be showing we're just driving the wrong way. Okay, so the first one you can do is this. I'll do it slower. So you can cut this one a little bit more, and then you sort of come back round, right? And then the first one you do is you're on this Astro, you turn in now, so you're really on trying to hit that barrier. If you just flick round really quickly. I'll do it at full speed for you. First. No, Chris, I'm afraid I haven't heard that. Oh. Disqualified for driving the wrong way. Can we go out at all? No, good job. Right, sorry, I'll quit and come back and do it properly. the first line is that early entry, and then you kind of hope and try and see if you can rotate the back end round. Whereas the second line is when you come in slightly later and try and get a better line onto the straight. We need that aggressive setup. The second line, where you're cutting in later, is only useful when... Come on. When you're following a car, which you don't really know what it's going to do around there, so you give yourself a little bit more time to think. Let's do a couple of laps, and this I've been around here for a little while. I'm never in this car, so let's see what we get and see if I can demonstrate those two different lines. Got to remember where to brake on this track first. There's some really interesting lines you can take around a lot of these corners, to be honest, where you've got that early entry. You see there where we're on the power nice and early, the back end just starts to come round for you. That's really what you need on that corner going in onto the back straight as well. It's all very well getting a clean exit, but you lose 2 or 3 tenths on entry by taking the wider line. So if we do the wider line this first time, let's not crash around here first, right? And you're braking just on those little markers. Those brake markers beforehand. So the wider line, you're right out here, and you come in, and you cut back, and it's now that you get on the power. Don't go on the curb on the inside, obviously. As it's the only corner you've got on, so I was thinking it's a line rather than setup. Yeah, probably. The one thing you could probably do with the setup is try either a little bit more preload diff. It depends what you're feeling around the rest of these corners, or a little bit more rear anti-roll bar. On my days, can't drive in a minute. I think my diving is over for today. Let's see if we can do the early entry line next lap. It's a bit different if you've never driven this car around here, because I haven't before. Okay, yeah, I'm done. I'm done driving. I can't. Okay, we did hold it. Okay, I can't concentrate very well at the minute while I'm talking and trying to do it. I think if you don't do that early entry line, because the car kind of like tucks around for you rather than you trying to. If you get stuck on that outside line, it does understeer. So I definitely think you should try that early entry line. We'll see if I can do it for you, but I'm really struggling to concentrate right now. So. See if we can go for it. This is another similar one where you can tuck in early, stamp on the throttle, and the back end of the car comes round for you a lot of the time. Right, so apologies if this doesn't go quite right. Bit late. You're still out on that Astro, but you're turning in a lot earlier, and now you get on the power, and it's you get that understeer. Is that what you're doing? Tell me if that's similar to what you're doing, because if it is, then there's a definite fix. Probably going quicker than me around here, to be honest. I literally can't even drive. Exactly what you did. Okay, super. So basically, there's like a slippy bit of tarmac coming out of the corner. So it's just being a little bit more patient on the throttle. It's the only thing I can suggest there, really. Because there's a phase where you think you should be on the throttle. Or what you need to do is just like count to 1 or something. Be like, say like elephant in your head or something like elephant, and then put the power down. Well, that's really dumb, but that's what I have to do around there. Same with a lot of these corners, actually. Because it just, like the road just falls away from you a little bit, so you have to just be slightly more patient on power. Getting a bit of a feel for this car around here now. Same with this one as well, you just have to be like elephant and then get round, and the car just comes round for you there. So we understood their last lap, right? see if we can. Pressures are pretty low, but we can see if we can. Really good example. So you're braking on these two markers here, cutting it a little bit, not too much, otherwise you'll get penalty. Back end of the car comes around onto this Astro. You have to turn it early in, elephant, and then off we go on the power. And you actually get oversteer if you like time it. Obviously not perfectly, but if you wait a little bit more, then you'll get oversteer. So we're in the same setup. It's just two completely different styles going around that corner. Whoop. And that's me done. I hope that was sort of semi-useful. In fact, we can just show quickly, really, can't we? So here, you're all the way out on that Astro, and you turn in a little bit earlier. So on the track guide, I use the other line because a lot of people will use the more conventional line where they turn in at the end of this Astro. We're actually turning in a little bit early. And then we're sort of drifting to the inside, and then we really put some rake on. You can see we're basically trying to hug the inside. Excuse me. And then we get to... I should have the HUD on as well. So we're completely off power here. So let's do it again. So you're just drifting in. On the brakes, you can see we're only at sort of 50% brake. Let's slow this down. We have a little bit of power just to stabilise the car. And then we're off throttle. We just clip that curb a little bit, and then you say elephant, and then when you get on the throttle, so it's here when you're on the throttle, okay? And we're not on full throttle, so it's just all about, yeah, you're probably not using enough on entry. Whereas before, when we put the power down slightly earlier, this is, where are we? I can't tell where we are on the track. Oh, okay. So when we did it the lap before, we were turning in just as early, but if we on power now, look at the line we're taking. We're so far out, so you just need to be that little bit more patient. So we're 81 when we get on the power. Because we let the front of the nose, so it's just a couple of miles an hour slower, just be a little bit more patient, and then when you get on the power, you oversteer on, you understeer. Super! Oh, I hope that was helpful. I realised it wasn't a massively long stream. We got through a little bit of Zolder. I'll use some of that footage for a track guide for you guys in the next week or so. I think I'll try and get that out because I haven't done a GT3 one for Zolder, and I'll include the pit lane and a couple of other bits and bobs. And then we'll go from there, I think. So thanks for joining, everyone. I hope it was useful. I'm going to try and do more of these because I'm doing less racing now. I'll get more time for actual streaming. But in the meantime, I'll see you in the next one. Cheers, guys.